I'm Will Harris, and it's been nearly 40 years since I graduated from the University of Georgia's College of Agriculture and returned to manage our family farm as the fourth generation to manage it. At that point, in 1976, the farm was being run very industrially as a monocultural cattle farm. As my father had done before me, I spent the next 20 years routinely tilling my fields, applying fertilizer and pesticides to my land and pharmaceuticals to my animals. As management responsibilities shifted more fully to me, I began paying closer attention to the impact that these practices had on my land and my herd, and I didn't like what I saw. The productivity was good and the farm was profitable, but the unintended consequences on the environment, the animals, and my community were unpleasant. I started changing my program in the mid-90s. I was not motivated by economics. We were doing pretty good financially. I was motivated by personal choice. I'd become increasingly disillusioned with that management system. Starting in 1995, I began transitioning away from the industrial model and began operating our farm as a living ecosystem. We now raise 10 species of humanely treated animals living in symbiotic relationships with each other. We do all our processing here on the farm. Our lands are now holistically managed and have increasingly become a living organic medium that's teeming with life. Thankfully, I was able to make this decision of switching from industrial farming to regenerative because our farm had always been profitable and we own our own land and we had no debt. I had access to capital because I was able to borrow money from commercial banks. It was difficult to switch to regenerative agriculture because of the economic landscape of the country. Most farmers can't afford to just change the way they farm. If they do, it's equally difficult to figure out how to get it processed and to figure out how to get it marketed and to figure out how to get it monetized and delivered. This can't just organically happen. Most of the motivation will have to come from demand for change from consumers. Industrial, commodity, centralized farming had rendered our town economically irrelevant. A community that had been prosperous for almost a century and a half became impoverished in less than half that amount of time. The town simply wasn't needed anymore. And sadly, this happened to thousands of farm communities all over America. But we figured out how to fix it by accident. The new, kinder, gentler farm production model that we had embraced caused the town to become economically relevant again. Bringing in 100 educated, energetic, passionate people to work on our farm changed the entire dynamic. These people needed a place to shop, eat, drink, play, and sleep. The town evolved from a ghost town to a thriving little community and is now a bit of a destination. White Oak Pastures is the largest private employer and one of the poorest counties in the United States. And our employees make significantly more than the county average. It was a literal rural revival, and it only took us a decade to do it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tina Owens, Senior Director of Food and Agriculture Impact at Danone North America, which is one of the world's largest B Corps. Our portfolio includes brands you know and love like Dannon, International Delight, Activia, Danimals, and more. At Danone North America, we know that opening big doors for sustained investment at the farm level is critically important to help farmers begin the transition to regenerative practices. To that end, we are taking a multi-pronged approach that includes company funds, grants, philanthropic, and impact investing loan activities. This is in addition to our direct contract model, which was already in place before work began on our regenerative program. It is this direct relationship with farms, rather than a commoditized black box, which we believe helps our ability to partner directly with our farmers to drive for change. Our soil health program began with our $6 million commitment in 2018 to pay for technical assistance for enrolled farms. We began with 26,000 acres in dairy and have continued to enroll new farms and expand acreage on existing enrolled farms as we aim to surpass 100,000 acres in the program for North America. Each enrolled farm receives a report called a Sustainable Continuous Improvement Plan from our technical assistance provider, Sustainable Environmental Consultants. This plan is specific to the farm's needs regarding soil type, rainfall, crop types, on-farm feasibility, and more. Farmers then choose which recommended practices to convert to on their farm, and here's where the additional funding comes into view. I've mentioned the technical assistance is provided fully by Danone. We also work to pay for cover crop seeds, pollinator habitat, equipment solutions, and other measures that the farmer is interested in adopting. We're seeking to dramatically speed up the return on investment for practice adoption and integration of regenerative practices by sharing farm costs through a blended financing approach whenever possible. We do this in a variety of ways through what may be one of the first integrated regenerative finance programs to be built. First, we use direct company funds wherever possible, but no one company has a big enough checkbook to single-handedly convert their entire farming business overnight. So we've sought out important partnerships to seek the same outcomes that we do in order to move forward with a blended funding approach. As I mentioned, that blended funding includes grant, philanthropic, and impact investing options, which the individual farms can opt into based on their specific needs. One specific example of these partnerships includes a multi-year agreement with the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. They have worked to help us secure grants with the USDA for a multi-state approach to match the funds we are already spending in that region. While these grants are administered through the Natural Resources Conservation Service, they come from a part of the USDA funding system that individual farmers are not able to access directly because it requires large multi-year public-private partners. In this way, we open a big door across multiple states to pay for multiple practices on several farms across our regional dairy sheds. We are also working on low or no cost loans that offer flexible capital to the farms in a way that doesn't require individual farmers to convince their local lender that regenerative practices are worth the investment. Again, the focus is on opening large doors that individual farmers would otherwise be unable to access on their own. A final example of how we drive for on-farm adoption is to demonstrate for the farmer what the specific impact is on their own finances and operation. Since early 2019, we've been working on a farmer return on investment tool that shows the farm a 10-year viewpoint on what to expect as their soil transitions to building organic matter and sequestering carbon. The tool demonstrates what happens if they take NRCS funding, when the purchase of additional equipment can be an unlock to move forward, and what the outcomes can be for them in the long term. This is an important approach in that it seeds the farmer's own why, to understand how moving to regenerative practices can move them out of a view that's focused on this harvest or the next couple of years to one that is able to include a vision of the next decade and next generation. Thank you for providing an opportunity to share more with you about our programs on regenerative finance. I hope this sparks discussion and ideas on your end. Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Mitchell Hora. I'm a 7th generation Iowa farmer and the founder and CEO of Continuum Ag. My family farm is 700 acres in southeast Iowa, and we have been able to farm with an array of different regenerative systems. We've been using no-till since the late 70s and cover crops since 2013. We farm corn, soybeans, rye, barley, wheat, and even mustard. We've tried on our farm in the last couple of years. And on our farm, our goal is to really be able to have a balance between profitability and sustainability. And now the opportunity to utilize data is really helping us out with that, with our overall purpose being work with Mother Nature, not against her. And we really feel that that can help us to improve our bottom line. In 2015, while I was at Iowa State, I started Continuum Ag. At that point, a soil health consulting company, now soil health data company. Earlier last year, we launched the first soil health data platform called Topsoil. Topsoil helps producers around the world quantify soil health and deploy better regenerative systems to improve their profitability and move the needle. We specialize in the Haney Soil Health Test, which is developed by Dr. Rick Haney, a former USDA ARS soil scientist. You don't have to utilize the Haney test to have success in implementing regenerative systems or using our platform, but we often see that Farmers equipped with data and knowledge are better able to overcome risk and better able to make strategic efforts towards improving soil health and improving the farm resilience and profitability of their operation. Looking forward, carbon markets and ecosystem service markets are a huge opportunity, and there's a lot of hype around them. We feel like this can be a great cherry on top for the farmers that we work with, and we're helping those producers to reverse engineer, optimizing their farm's impact and driving better profitability for them through these new systems. We look forward to the conversations to be had and the opportunities moving forward, and Continuum Ag is excited to be right in the heartland, working for small town Iowa, working to help family farms become more economically resilient and environmentally sustainable. Thanks.
My name is Elisa Gravitz, and I have the great good fortune to serve as the CEO of Green America, where I lead our work through the Center for Sustainability Solutions, focusing on creating large-scale change in industries that require multi-stakeholder engagement and deep collaboration. First, I want to thank the U.S. Coalition on Sustainability for convening this event, and congratulations to them on the second anniversary of SustainChain. We're all looking forward to deeper connections and collaboration through this powerful platform. Most importantly, thanks to all of you for joining today. I hope what you learn will inspire you to take more bold steps for regenerative agriculture. As part of my work with the Green America Center for Sustainability Solutions, we convene an innovation network of over 150 thought leaders in the agriculture sector. From farmers and food companies to retailers and academics, policymakers, NGOs, and investors. We call it the Soil and Climate Alliance. You've already met some of our luminaries today when you heard from Will Harris, Mitchell Hora, and Tina Owens. These leaders work together to develop system solutions that no one of us can implement alone. As part of that work, the network has developed the Soil Carbon Initiative, a soil health measurement, certification, and tracking system. The Soil Carbon Initiative certification also includes a farm and company level consumer-facing label that farmers, food companies, and retailers can use to communicate their commitments and progress to consumers and investors. As you heard from Will, Mitchell, and Tina, regenerative agriculture is powerful. It provides significant benefits for the climate, supply chain resilience, farm profitability, and the farm level climate resilience, along with enormous biodiversity and water benefits. And the farms are just beautiful. I invite you to visit the leading regenerative farms and ranches like Will's and Mitchell. As you step onto the farms, you'll see they are teeming with life, with bees and butterflies and the pollinators that do the important work in agriculture. As you walk across the fields, the healthy soil will literally be putting a spring into your step. And you'll hear the great stories about how all life on the farm responds, like Will's story with the bald eagles returning to its land. Regenerative agriculture is performing at the farm and company level, and it is scalable across the supply chain. It creates significant financial benefits for farms and rural communities. And I want to add, soil health is measurable, so supply chains and investors can make commitments with confidence. If you want to learn more about our Soil Carbon Initiative and our Soil Carbon Fund that supports the initiative, please contact me through the QR code. We'd love to benefit from the investment wisdom in this room. Thank you so much, and may you have bold and beautiful regenerative agriculture journeys. Thank you.